I respect everybody till they earn my disrespect. Um, just yesterday on the news, I heard that two bombers, jets, had to drop their payload right on top of the Great Barrier Reef. I'm not sure if it was four bombs or maybe as many as eight, but I don't know about you, but this is very, very troubling to me. If you know the ocean, you know, halfway, quasi, the Great Barrier Reef would be considered the heart of the ocean. And to have this kind of an assault on it, as I said, the full impact hasn't been released to us yet. All I heard on the news was that they have specialists heading there and the government looking into it and having an investigation and whatnot. What I got so far, a couple of jets were low on fuel, dropped their payload right on top of the Great Barrier Reef so that they had enough fuel to make it back to base. Well, in doing that, they could have murdered Mother Nature, because as I just said, the Great Barrier Reef is the heart of the ocean. And from my understanding, my whole life, it's very, very important to the health of the ocean and the health there, for the planet. Now, if you were to couple that with the thought of, have you heard a word about Fukushima since it happened? We hear little tiny blurbs here and there, maybe, sometimes, but we never hear anything. Now, you have to understand, as I do, I have a thinking brain, a thinking mind. Whenever they don't talk about something, they're hiding it. Now, why would they be hiding it? Fukushima was the nuclear power plant sitting right on the edge of Japan, right on the ocean. And when the tsunami came in, it wiped out the power plant and it caused a full on meltdown. If I remember right, two cores were full on melted and a third was quasi, if I remember right. I have all of this on disk. I could just review my disks and find out. But anyway, I was speaking about the Great Barrier Reef, but Fukushima comes into it also because, as I said, now why have we not heard anything? Nothing. You gotta imagine that there has to be a struggle going on. They're right on the edge of the ocean. They have to stop this. Supposedly, we would assume they have to stop this contaminated water from going back into the ocean once they use it to cool these fully melted cores. Remember that. It's two full on melted cores. To me, it would be very foolish to think that it would be easily contained. Pour water on it. Cores are fully melted. The whole building is. How do you. How are you recollecting? How are you getting that water back into what we call, I guess, a cooling pool? Dig a hole in the ground, let the water run back into there, and let it cool off. Now you have highly radiated water. I would assume, I'm no physicist, I'm no nuclear engineer, I don't know anything about these things, but I would assume it would need to be neutralized as far as radiation, cooled in order to be reused. Now, just thinking takes a lot of water, and you're recirculating this water, yes? What you're trying to, I would assume, stop this water from running directly back into the ocean. So you would try to contain it. Seems like a pretty monumental task. And as I said, why have we heard nothing? If they made a nice advancement of Yay, we stopped the water from going back in the ocean. Why wouldn't we hear about that? If radiation levels drop today, yay, why wouldn't we hear about that? If radiation levels spiked because they, didn't put water on it for an hour or whatever, and then they did, and all of a sudden it becomes a big plume because it was, that much more hotter from not having water. Something, anything, you understand what I'm saying? Things have to be going on over there. As I said, they're right on the edge of the ocean. Now, I did hear a little blurb about they had a leak, a small leak with the water, the cooling water that they're using, that got into the ocean. This is, I think, maybe the third leak I've heard of. Contaminated water directly in the ocean. Me, tinfoil hat, I think a lot more than that is going back out into the ocean. I have to assume the worst. And by that I mean pumps are going, boom, done, no more pump to recirculate the water. Because as I said, that water's got to be getting so hot. And I don't understand how they could neutralize the radiation in it and keep it circulating fast. You need mountains, right? Don't you have mountains of water to keep these molten cores from, Jesus Christ, melting their way into a crack in the earth? I don't know what would happen to them. There's another thing. We don't know what's going on, you know? But I have to assume that at times they're pouring seawater directly on these things, and that water is running full on back into the ocean. I honestly, highly believe that. We've had fish show up on our shores, radiated. Heightens, I guess it's cesium levels. I'm not learned in the ways of nuclear energy, so I wouldn't know those things. But I thought that was the word I heard: cesium, elevated cesium levels. Whatever. The point is that Mother Nature has just taken a very, very hard strike to her heart. The Great Barrier Reef is one of the most important elements of the natural flow and health of the ocean. This is going to hurt Mother Nature very badly. And in turn, we are going to hurt. And with not paying attention to Fukushima, I think we're making a really big mistake. Why aren't we hearing about nations coming together to take care of this problem so we all don't suffer? Instead, what I find is, if you were to go and look up patents, if you want to prove a theory of conspiracy theory, say, I believe that the government and governments in hand have been seeding the skies, certain elements. This has been going on for quite a while, and a lot of people, are right on board with this. They're called chemtrails, not contrails. Do you know that I happen to stumble upon a way to find out that these things are not conspiracy theories? These things are absolutely true. And if you would like the proof that they put chemicals on planes to disperse into the air above your head, if you don't believe that, go and look up the patents. Say, I don't know, 1960 to 1990, 2000. Look up the patents now for, say, large-scale aerial pellet disbursement. The patent on it, the machine. The patent on large-scale aerosol spraying. Things along that line. You're going to come across these patents for things that you say don't exist. You might want to have a friend hold your hand when you become awake to what's going on. They are spraying things in your sky. So, go look these things up I told you. Use your own tinfoil hat and do various versions of what I've just told you. The aerial spraying apparatus that it would take. The delivery system. The tanks to hold it. Think about it. You will find that there are patents for this apparatus. If it doesn't exist, if they don't do it, why is there a patent for a machine to do it? We gotta start thinking, people, and stop taking the government's word for anything. The government has fully infiltrated our schools. When children are made to learn Muslim prayer, but a portrait of Jesus that hung in the same school for 40 years had to be removed because supposedly one child got offended. See, somehow or another, our politicians perverted the words freedom of religion, and they changed it to freedom from religion. Accept what we tell you. Christianity has been taken out of our schools. Do you remember the Pledge of Allegiance? Do you remember the Star Spangled Banner? Do you remember what used to play on the TV every night before they went off air? I grew up in a different world, and I have respect, admiration for my country, my patriotism, my fellow patriots who look to the Constitution, the Bill of Rights, the Federalist Papers, as far as how a patriot or even an American citizen is supposed to act. And yet we have, our politicians nowadays that are just absolutely running amok. Amok. Stand up, and I've said it so many times before, but this really does bother me, people. When you stand up in front of the Senate and you say, we gotta sign this bill into law to find out what's in it, that to me is the absolute epitome and height of ignorance for somebody to hold an office that is supposedly representing the people of the United States of America, you and I, to say something that ignorant, and then to actually have people in a majority do it. Every single one of these people is treasonous. To sign something into law that you did not read or understand, but will become law upon the American people, is treasonous. We have to watch what's going on in our government, people. The NSA is compiling everything you say. Oh, bringing the NSA up. Just want to say hello. We are being data mined. This is illegal search and seizure. Seizure. Get that? When they take it and they put it on a little disc and they put it in a building and they wait until they need it to blackmail you later on in life, or to prove you were a dingbat, or to twist your words, or do whatever they want to do with it. That is tyranny, ladies and gentlemen. We better start looking into all of this. All of this. Look at what's going on in our ocean, and they're not telling you. Why are they keeping it from you? Look what's going on in our skies right above our head, and they're lying to you about it. Look up the chemtrails, the apparatus, the equipment needed. You will find. You're going to have to ask yourself, if they don't do it, how the hell can it exist? Better start looking into the people that are supposed to be representing you and I, because they're not. Every single one of these people needs to start packing their shit and get ready to go home, because we need some new blood. Get them fossils out of there. I love my country, and I'm sick of seeing her die. Good luck, everybody. God bless America. Good luck to us all. I think we're going to need it.